You've moved from where you used to be, right? You're no longer at the rock bottom. And then you aiming for something big in your life. You're going somewhere, you know there is something great for you to accomplish in life. You know that destiny owes something tangible for you, but you haven't gotten there. You have left your former circle of friends. You can no longer speak to them the way you used to. You can no longer have the conversations you used to have with them. The things they want to talk about, you're no longer interested. And then you aiming to encompass yourself with some new circles of friends, right? You want those people at the top where you're obviously heading, but then you are not yet qualified to be in their circle, right? So you are in this weird place where you're not at the rock bottom, and then you're not at the top. You're somewhere so weird, right? It's more like there is really nobody there. And trust me, that's the lonely place. That's the place where you define yourself. And I encourage you in the sense that every great person, everybody you've seen accomplishing anything great in life, they've all had to be in that position. They've all had to be in the position where they no longer fit into society, as we call it, into the status quo. They no longer fit into that normalcy. They are so dissatisfied with what their lives has been, what their parents have conditioned them to become, what society has conditioned them to become. They're so dissatisfied that they're trying to re-engineer themselves. They're trying to redefine who they are. And trust me, that's the definition place. That's the point of definition. And that's where I believe many people become suicidal because, well, you've lost all your friends, right? And nobody is seeming to be willing to become friends with you right now. At least the people who you want to be friends with, you've not yet been developed to the point where you qualify to be friends with them. And many people, I tell you this, trust me, you listen to anybody, trust me, anybody really, they tell you that's exactly where they had to find out who they are. Not because their parents told them, not because that's what their preacher told them, not because they went to church, and not because their parents bettered them into one religion out of the 4,300 religions that are currently in the world. Insane, right? Many people are just practicing one of these religions because, well, that's exactly what their parents practiced out of the 4,300, including Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, all these religions, right? They just are practicing one of them because that's what their parents choose for them. But then if you are curious as a person, which is one of the most important traits that you need to fulfill greatness in life, curiosity. You need to be curious. You can't accept things the way they are. You can't accept things the way they've been defined to you. You don't do things because somebody said that's how it should be done. You want to find out, is this really true? Because truly, you can fool all the people all the time, all the people sometimes. You can fool some of the people all the times, but you can't fool all the people all the time, right? There is really necessity. There is great necessity for you to make some very core definitions about your life, and that's an important phrase, right? It is your life, which means at the end of it, you're actually accountable to the person who created you, God himself. That's the only person that you are accountable to. Because here's what you want to understand. So your parents want you to become a medical doctor. Why? Because they believe that if you are a medical doctor, you're well paid. They want you to get the cars, to get the good wife, to get the good children. They want you to have a high standard education. Why? Because they want you to acquire material things that will give you position, status quo, that will give you pomposity in life, right? And that's going to stop here. All of that is going to stop right here. At the end of your life, trust me when I tell you this, there is only one being that you're accountable to, and that's your maker. Not your parents, not your preacher, not your church. It's important that you engage yourself in all these social activities, but you need to be true to yourself. You need to be true to yourself. And I say this because I believe that there are many of us out there who haven't yet taken the time to understand what exactly life is. What is life? What is life? And there are 5 questions you need to answer. Ask yourself and answer very importantly if you're going to start living purposefully, which is really the business of the day. That's exactly what we do here at the Pathfinders Global, to help you realize the necessity for beginning to live purposefully. You need to start living a purposeful life. You can't be drifting. There is something for you to accomplish in life. There is something for you. There is a solution that you are to bring to the earth. I believe this. I believe that God created time. He lives outside of time, but he found the problem within his creation, which is time, and then he sourced for a material, which is you, that will be the solution to that problem. Right? So there's a problem in time, and the being who created time, who lives outside of time, which means he is not affected by time. He decided, okay, how can I solve this problem within my creation? He decided to source for an element of solution, which you are, and voila, that's why you are here, to bet that solution. So here's my question. How will it feel to you when you have finally appeared before your maker, God himself, who created you for a reason? And then you tell him, okay, I made all the money. Beautiful. I had all the children. My children were happy. I trained them. Great. I got married to a beautiful wife. I had a very nice business. I helped a lot of people. Is that wrong? No, absolutely not. These are things that should be done while you are accomplishing your ultimate purpose in life. Trust me, there is a purpose. And it's not just to make money. There is a purpose, and it's not just to get married. There is a purpose, and it's not just to get children. There is a purpose, and it's not just to achieve status in life. There is a purpose, and it's not just to take your life to the next level, right? All those are congruent. All those are important. Your purpose in life will not be fulfilled without all those things working hand in hand. But I figured out that the main challenge is that many people are busy doing all these other things, but then they haven't yet defined that one purpose that should be the factor that it's motivating the accomplishing of all these other things. And that's exactly what I want you to do in your life. And here are the 5 questions you need to answer very deliberately. Sit down on your bed, right? Sit down on your bed one day and really think. And this is an assignment I'm giving us, wherever you're watching us from. Sit down on your bed and think, what am I here to solve? What am I here to solve? Because trust me, life is hard. There are going to be days where you don't want to wake up. There are going to be days where the vicissitudes of life are going to be so overwhelming that you don't see a future for you, because the present is so overwhelming that you can't really plan for the year ahead. You can't, because the things that you're supposed to solve at the current present terms is so overwhelming. You don't even have the capacity to solve them. So those days are going to come. There's going to be days where you're going to even doubt your very existence. There are going to be days where some of us are going to be suicidal. You're going to doubt the reason, do I have to leave? Why shouldn't I just end this all? And here's what's important. The one thing that will keep you going and miss that confusion is if you have a clear, defined purpose in life. That's why there is that necessity. It's inevitable. You're going to, because without this purpose, trust me, you're just going to exist, and which is not what you're meant to do. You begin to live the day you find your purpose, period. Until you find your purpose, you are just merely existing. You're just one of the numbers in the earth. There are about 8 billion people on the planet Earth currently. 8 billion. And, well, there is a lot to be done. There is a lot to be done. And there is a lot you can do. But then until you find out your place in that figure, you're just going to be just one of the numbers of the people in that figure, right? So, and I don't encourage you to do that, right? So answer these 5 questions very deliberately. Question number 1, where am I coming from? Where am I coming from? You need to understand your heritage. Where you coming from? And I'm not saying your locality, I'm not saying your country, I'm not saying your family. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking of where you, which is your human spirit, came from. And I'm not preaching to us, right? I'm not being biblical or religious or not, but you can't tell really that all that there is not all that you see, is not all that there is. Your human body is not all that there is. Your brain cannot perform the activity that you perform as a human. Talk of your dreams.